Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss some more cell organelles, and the first cell organelle of today's class is plastids. See, plastids are double membranous organelles. So these are double membrane bound structures. Just like mitochondria, so here also a outer membrane is present and a inner membrane is present. Plastids are also semi-autonomous organelles like mitochondria. Mitochondria were also having their own DNA. Just like that, these plastids are also having their own DNA. That's why these are semi-autonomous organelles. Now, they are present in some of the protists like Euglena is having plastids, diatoms are having plastids, and plants. Rest of the organisms, animals and remaining organisms are not going to have plastids. So, present in protists like Euglena is there, diatoms and plants. So, these organisms are going to have plastids. Now, these plastids, they arise from a precursor, that is basically a colorless precursor. एक colorless precursor है, that is known as proplastid. वहाँ से different type of plastids arise होते हैं. So only one single type of plastid is not present. We are having three types of plastids that are going to arise from proplastid. That is a colorless precursor. And this colorless precursor is giving rise to three type of plastids: leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. So these are the three type of plastids. Let's discuss them one by one. Leucoplast are the colorless plastids. Color नहीं होता है. You can say chlorophyll नहीं है. That's why color नहीं present है. So they are lacking with grana. They are lacking chlorophyll. They are colorless plastids. And they are basically used for storage purpose. Size can be regular shaped or different shape of leucoplast are present, and these are used for storage purpose. Now, depending upon the type of substance they are storing, we are giving them different names. Like one type of leucoplast is amyloplast. Amyloplast is that leucoplast that is going to store starch. So starch storing leucoplasts are known as amyloplast, and these amyloplasts are larger in size as compared to the remaining leucoplast. Then aleoplast is there. These are the fat storing leucoplasts which are involved in the storage of fats. Then we are having aleuroplasts which are involved in the storing of proteins. So depending upon the type of substances they are storing, we are having different type of leucoplast. So these are simply colorless. कोई भी colored pigment present नहीं है. Neither carotenoids are there or chlorophyll is there. Grana is also absent. Different type of shapes are there. Structures are there, and they are involved in different storing purposes. Next comes chloroplast. Chloroplasts are colored. And color is because of presence of carotenoids. So these are going to be colored. Different type of carotenoids are present. Like we have seen that when there is a unripe tomato that is green in color, and when it is going to ripen up, then it is going to convert into red color. That is because the chlorophyll present in the tomato that is converting into chromoplast. So chromoplast is colored. Say orange color is there. So different fruits and you can say different vegetables, they are having different colors. Flowers are having different colors. That is because of the presence of chromoplast. So if flowers are having different color, they are attracting insects for pollination. If fruits are having different color, then they are also attracting different animals for their dispersal of seeds. So this is how these chromoplasts are important, and these chromoplasts are going to form from either chlorophyll, or you can say, chloroplast, or they are going to form from leucoplast. So they are colored, these are colored plastids. And next one is chloroplast. We know that this chloroplast is going to be green in color because they are going to have chlorophyll. Carotenoids are also present, means other accessory pigments are also present. The main pigment that is going to be present is chlorophyll, that is green in color, and this chloroplast is responsible for the formation of organic, or you can say food sources, by using inorganic raw materials like carbon dioxide is used, water is used in presence of sunlight. So this is also known as fission of the cell because it is involved in photosynthesis process for the production of food. Now if we talk about the number of chloroplast, algae is also having, so most of the algae are having chloroplast in them. So there are different algae which are having only one single chloroplast, like Eulothrix is there, then Chlamydomonas is there, so only single chloroplast is present in them. Some other forms are present there which are having multiple number of chloroplasts. Shape of the chloroplast is also going to be different. It can be plate shaped. If we talk about the shape, then plate like chloroplast is present in Eulothrix. Cup shaped present in Chlamydomonas. Disc shaped, that is having almost a oval or spherical boundary, these are present in plants. So different shapes of chloroplast are present, their number is going to vary. And say chlorenchyma cells, if we talk about the chlorenchyma of plant cells, they are almost having 20 to 40 chloroplast in them. Then their size is also going to vary. If we see this disc shaped oval spherical chloroplast that is present in plants, the length is going to be 4 to 10 micrometer and 2 to 4 micrometer in length and 2 to 4 micrometer in width. So from organism to organism, the shape, size and number of chloroplast, they are going to vary. Now these can be differently arranged also in a cell. So this is something about chloroplast. Now let's talk about the chemical composition. They are having all proteins. Almost 60% of proteins are present. You can say 50 to 60% of proteins are present. 25 to 30% of lipids are present. Then major is chlorophyll. 5 to 10% of chlorophyll are present. They are also having some amount of carotenoids in them. DNA, RNA is there. So these are rest of the substances that are going to be present in the chloroplast. If we talk about the structure of chloroplast, then we said that chloroplast is a double membranous bound structure. So two membranes are present, outer membrane and inner membrane. Now these membranes are just behaving like the membranes of mitochondria. Outer membrane is going to be fully permeable for the substances, while inner membrane is going to be semi-permeable, or you can say selectively permeable. But difference is, in mitochondria we see that outer wall is going to be smooth while inner wall is going to be folded. But in chloroplast, both the walls are going to be smooth. So two walls are there, or you can say two membranes are there. Outer membrane, that is smooth and fully permeable. Inner membrane, it is also smooth over here, but that is selectively permeable. Now the space that is present between these two membranes, if I roughly draw one membrane and second membrane, so this is going to be the outer membrane, this is the inner membrane, and the space that is present over here, this is the inner membranal space. And the region that is present in between this inner membrane, that is the matrix of chloroplast, or it is also known as stroma. And this is going to have major components like chlorophyll is going to be present over here, and most of the reactions are going to occur in this matrix of the chloroplast. It is again a semi-fluid, transparent semi-fluid, where most of the chemical reactions are going to occur. Now what else is present in this stroma? This stroma is having DNA. हमने अभी बात की दैट क्लोरोप्लास्ट आर हैविंग डीएनए, सो यहाँ पर भी डीएनए प्रेजेंट है. डीएनए कैसा प्रेजेंट है? जैसा कि हमने माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में डिस्कस किया था, जस्ट लाइक प्रोकैरियोटिक डीएनए. हियर सिंगल सर्कुलर स्ट्रैंड ऑफ डीएनए इज प्रेजेंट. नाउ अगर डीएनए प्रेजेंट है, देन दिस क्लोरोप्लास्ट इज गोइंग टू मेक मोस्ट ऑफ इट्स प्रोटीन्स बाय इट्स ओन. अगर डीएनए प्रेजेंट है तो एमआरएनए बन सकता है, एमआरएनए यहाँ से ट्रांसलेट करके प्रोटीन्स बना सकता है. प्रोटीन्स बनाने के लिए राइबोसोम्स आर ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट इन क्लोरोप्लास्ट. अगेन प्रोकैरियोटिक टाइप ऑफ राइबोसोम्स आर प्रेजेंट, so they are having 70s type of ribosomes. So these ribosomes and DNA, they are going to form major enzymes and proteins that are required for the functioning of chloroplast. That's why we are saying that these chloroplasts are semi-autonomous organelles, because most of the things they are going to do by themselves, but they are not completely autonomous, because for some of the enzymes and proteins they are going to depend upon nucleus. So this is something about DNA and ribosomes. Other than this, some of the organisms like algae are having, they are having special starch storage structures. These are known as pyrenoids. So these are present in algae. Algae are having chloroplast, and pyrenoids are present in algae, which are starch storing structures. Now plastoglobuli are present, which are fat storing, or you can say lipid droplets. They are also present in this chloroplast. So these are some of the things that are present in chloroplast. Now let's discuss the detailed structure of chloroplast. So let's understand the structure of a chloroplast. So this is the outer membrane of chloroplast. We know two membranes are there. Here present the inner membrane, and in between lies the inner membranal space. Now this is the matrix or stroma region. If we see inside the stroma region, then DNA is present, some starch granules are present. Other than this, we are seeing flat sac-like structures which are arranged one upon the another. These flat sac-like structures, the individual is known as thylakoid, and these thylakoids are having the pigments that are involved in photosynthesis. That's why these thylakoids are known as photosynthetic thylakoids. Now if we see here carefully, तो they are एक दूसरे के ऊपर arranged हैं. So the combined unit that is formed is a grana. So thylakoids are going to arrange one upon another, and they are going to form grana. So lots of grana are present in one chloroplast. So around 40 to 60 grana are present, and 2 to 100 thylakoids are going to be present in one grana. Now if we see this grana, it is absent in some of the cells like bundle sheath cells में grana नहीं होता है. So if we see here, two type of thylakoids are present. Granal thylakoids, अगर हम यहाँ पर इन thylakoids को देखते हैं, then these are interconnected with each other. बीच में भी thylakoids present हैं जो इनको कनेक्ट करने का काम करते हैं. So we are having granal thylakoids, like these are granal thylakoids, and these are stroma thylakoids. जो ग्रेना नहीं बनाते हैं, जिनमें स्टैक्स अरेंज नहीं होते हैं, thylakoids. Now these thylakoids, they are having different photosynthetic pigments. Like chlorophyll A is there, chlorophyll B is present, then they are having carotenoids, xanthophylls. They are also associated with ATP synthesizing machinery, because ATP is also going to form. So ATP synthesizing machinery is also there. So all these things are associated with each other and they are going to make a photosystem. And in plants, two type of photosystems are present, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. अगर हम बात करें photosystem 1 की, then this photosystem 1 is going to be present in stroma thylakoids. जो stroma thylakoids हैं वहाँ पर photosystem 1 present होता है, and the non appraised parts means this top part, this below part, जो part बीच में प्रेजेंट नहीं है, बाउंड्रीज पे प्रेजेंट है, नॉन एप्रेस्ड पार्ट्स हैं ग्रेना थाइलाकोइड्स के, दोज आर हैविंग फोटोसिस्टम 1. सो फोटोसिस्टम प्रेजेंट इन स्ट्रोमा थाइलाकोइड्स एंड नॉन एप्रेस्ड पार्ट्स ऑफ ग्रेना थाइलाकोइड्स. So these are the regions where photosystem 1 is present. Photosystem 2 कहाँ present होता है? Photosystem 2 is present in the appraised regions. Say these are the appraised regions of grana thylakoid. So they are present in the appraised regions of grana thylakoids, where photosystem 2 is present. So this is the structure of a chloroplast, and this is how this chloroplast is involved in the process of, now these photosystems are involved in the process of photosynthesis. Now let's talk about the functions performed by chloroplast. These are some of the functions of chloroplast. We have already talked about photosynthesis. They are involved in the process of photosynthesis, where they are using the solar radiations, and they are, by combination of inorganic materials, they are going to produce organic food for the plants. Now energy transduction, they are going to convert the sunlight, or you can say sun energy, into chemical energy, or light energy into chemical energy. Now consumption of carbon dioxide, we know one of the most important inorganic substance that is used as a raw material by plants is CO2. So they are going to consume more and more CO2 from the atmosphere, that is reducing the amount of CO2 in atmosphere and preventing global warming. Then liberation of oxygen, in return, after consumption of CO2, in return they are going to liberate oxygen, and oxygen and CO2, their level must be maintained in the atmosphere. So plants are the major sources, or you can say by the process of photosynthesis, the amount of CO2 and oxygen is maintained in the atmosphere. Now storage of starch, we have seen that there are various starch globules that are present, like pyrenoids are present in algae also, and other starch globules are also present which are involved in the storage of starch. Photosensitivity, in some of the algae there are stigma present or eye spots are present which provide photosensitivity. Reducing parts, NADPH is formed during the process of photosynthesis. This NADPH is involved in the synthesis of amino acids and reduction of nitrites. Then synthesis of fatty acids. Scientists have observed that chloroplasts are also involved in the synthesis of fatty acids. There is a storage of lipids. We see that in plastoglobuli, fats are stored, and these chloroplasts, they are going to convert or they are going to form chromoplast. The chlorophyll will be converted and carotenoids are formed of different color and chromoplast are going to form from chloroplast. So these are some of the important functions of chloroplast. So that's all about the plastids. Now if we talk about, we have already discussed about the autonomy of chloroplast. They are having their own DNA, then they are having ribosomes, so they will be involved in most of the enzymes and protein synthesis, and they are sharing their major of the characteristics with mitochondria also. Now let's move on to next organelle. The next cell organelle is spherosomes or oleosomes. I have written the important points regarding this organelle. It is mainly going to be present in plants. सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनेली है, सिर्फ एक ही मेम्ब्रेन प्रेजेंट होती है और मेन फंक्शन होता है इट इज़ गोइंग टू सिंथेसाइज लिपिड्स एंड स्टोरेज ऑफ लिपिड्स. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज़ प्रेजेंट इन एंडोस्पर्म सेल्स ऑफ oil seeds. Oil seeds are having fats or lipids stored in them, so that's why it is present in these seeds. Now they are going to be deriving from endoplasmic reticulum. कहाँ से derive होते हैं? सेल के एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम से derive होते हैं. And some of the tissues of these spherosomes, some tissues like tobacco endosperm is there, maize root tip is there, they are having hydrolytic enzymes also. सो प्लांट के कुछ टिश्यूज़ में जो स्फेरोसोम्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं उनमें हाइड्रोलिटिक एंजाइम्स में प्रेजेंट होते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर हैविंग सम लाइसोसोमिक एक्टिविटी. सो दैट्स ऑल व्हाट वी नीड टू टॉक अबाउट स्फेरोसोम्स और oleosomes. Next are microbodies that are present. Peroxisomes are there, glyoxylosomes are there. So let's see about these microbodies. So let's talk something about microbodies. Microbodies are small single membrane bound structures and they are basically involved in uptake of O2 and in the process of oxidation. तो एटमॉस्फेयर से ऑक्सीजन अपटेक करते हैं और डिफरेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स की ऑक्सीडेशन के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं. नाउ देर आर टू टाइप ऑफ माइक्रोबॉडीज दैट आर प्रेजेंट. फर्स्ट वन इज peroxisomes and the second one are glyoxysomes, which we are going to discuss later on. So let's talk something about peroxisomes. Peroxisomes are basically having enzymes which are involved in the peroxide biosynthesis. So they are having various type of oxidative enzymes, like I have written some of the oxidative enzymes: urate oxidase, then D-amino acid oxidase, alpha hydroxy acid oxidase, beta hydroxy acid oxidase. All these are present in peroxisomes. And in the center of the peroxisome, a crystalline core is present that is having the enzyme catalase, and this catalase is going to act on hydrogen peroxide. So it is going to break down this hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. It is going to remove water, break down कर देगा, and that is going to become detoxify बिकॉज वी नो हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड इज वेरी टॉक्सिक, सो उसको डिटॉक्सिफाई करने का काम करता है ये कैटलिस्ट, जो कि कहाँ प्रेजेंट है, पेरोक्सीसोम्स में प्रेजेंट है. नाउ दीज पेरोक्सीसोम्स they are associated, they are single membrane bound organelles, single membrane present है, and they are mostly associated with endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and they are having docking proteins, paroxins. Paroxins का क्या function होता है? With the help of these paroxins they are going to uptake substances from cytoplasm. साइटोप्लाज्म एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम से सब्सटेंसेस की मूवमेंट को इजीली फैसिलिटेट करते हैं ये पेरोक्सिन्स. नाउ दे आर मोस्टली प्रेजेंट इन लिवर एंड किडनी. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन इज द मेजर फंक्शन ऑफ पेरोक्सीसोम्स, और हमारी बॉडी में जो मेजर ऑर्गन्स हैं विच आर इन्वॉल्व इन डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन, दोज आर लिवर एंड किडनी. दैट्स वाई दीज पेरोक्सीसोम्स आर इन हायर नंबर इन लिवर एंड किडनी. And these peroxisomes, they are present in plants as well as animals. So almost all the eukaryotic cells are having peroxisomes in them, and it is thought that they are going to derive from endoplasmic reticulum. ये ज़्यादातर एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के साथ एसोसिएटेड रहते हैं, एंड इट इज़ थॉट दैट दे आर गोइंग सो कमिंग फ्रॉम एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम. Now what different functions these peroxisomes are going to do? Detoxification, जो भी टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस हम इनहेल करते हैं, इथेनॉल इज देयर, मिथेनॉल, फॉर्मेल्डिहाइड, ऑल दीज टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस दे आर डिटॉक्सिफाइड और कन्वर्टेड इनटू नॉन टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस बाय पेरोक्सीसोम्स. कुछ अनयूजुअल सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं लेकिन लाइक जीनोबायोटिक्स आर देयर, जिनको हमारी बॉडी के नॉर्मल एंजाइम्स ब्रेक डाउन नहीं करते हैं, सो दोज आर गोइंग टू बी ब्रोकन डाउन बाय पेरोक्सीसोम्स. देन यूरेट, जो न्यूक्लिक एसिड के कैटाबॉलिज्म से यूरेट प्रोड्यूस होता है, दैट यूरेट इज गोइंग टू बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू एलेंटोइन इन द पेरोक्सीसोम्स ओनली. जो लॉन्ग फैटी एसिड चेन्स प्रेजेंट है या ब्रांच्ड फैटी एसिड चेन्स प्रेजेंट है, उनके ब्रेकडाउन के लिए भी कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबल है? पेरोक्सीसोम्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल. इन प्लांट्स रूट नोड्यूल्स में फिक्स्ड नाइट्रोजन इज प्रेजेंट. नाउ दैट फिक्स्ड नाइट्रोजन इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू यूराइड्स by these peroxisomes, and this is for the transportation purpose, so that can be easily transported. So that is also done by peroxisomes. और plants में जो peroxisomes present होते हैं, they are performing important role in photorespiration along with chloroplast, and they are working along with chloroplast and mitochondria. So chloroplast, mitochondria and peroxisomes, these three are going to be involved in the process of photorespiration. We are going to discuss photorespiration in detail when we are going to talk about respiration in plants. So now up to here, these are some of the functions and characteristics of peroxisomes. Now let's discuss about the second type of microbody, that is glyoxysomes. Glyoxysomes, they are another type of microbodies which are again small and single membrane bound, just like peroxisomes. And sometimes it is also said that these glyoxysomes are going to convert into peroxisomes. Now just like peroxisomes, they are also having the crystalline core that are having enzymes for beta oxidation of fatty acids. So they are going to oxidize the fatty acids, and for glycoxylate pathway also. So there are different type of enzymes present in them, and mostly they are present in the germinating oil seeds because those are having fat stored in them. So there it is responsible for the breakdown of fats. Now in some of the plants where senescent tissues are present, these glyoxysomes are going to recome in these senescent tissues, and they are responsible for the breakdown of lipids and for the transportation of lipids from that particular tissues. So this is glyoxysome that is involved in the beta oxidation of fatty acids. So that's all for today. Next time we are going to discuss about ribosomes. Ribosomes, these are present in eukaryotic cells, how they are present, how they are going to assemble, what different functions they are performing, and then we are going to move to the cytoskeleton. So that's all for today.